Legality is not the issue here. Politics is the issue. And I think there are three problems. Rudy Giuliani says he was a genius, that Trump was a genius. I don't know how you qualify as a genius when it shows that you lost over $900 million. I mean, I just don't understand that. And I think it does damage his reputation, which he has been promoting very avidly, that he can be president and he can run the economy because he's such a successful businessman. And when you lose over $900 million, that reputation takes a bit of a hit. I think the other problem, in some ways more seriously, is the argument that Clinton's already making, which is, look, Mr. and Mrs. America, average middle-class folks, you pay taxes, you support the military, you support the schools. If he says he's smart not to do that, does that make you a chump? I mean, that really, I think, is potentially a significant issue. And finally, I think it will increase the demands for him to release more information, which he has refused to do repeatedly. So whatever Giuliani or Chris Christie says about this is a net political loss for Trump.
So if you're Hillary Clinton right now, Steve, do you just stay quiet? Do you just kind of close your mouth and let this all play out and then kind of remind people you're there in 5 weeks?
Well, to some extent. I mean, on Saturday Night Live on Saturday, the Clinton character, Kate McKinnon, who's very good, Trump is going on, and the moderator says to her, well, now you have 2 minutes to reply. And she just says, well, I'll let him keep talking. He can have my 2 minutes, which is a reflection of the strategy that when someone is digging himself into a hole, you don't, you just let him keep doing it. Although she won't stay silent. She will, as I say, she will use the opportunity to highlight some of these issues, and also to some extent try to offer a more positive set of proposals. Now, frankly, I think her best chance to win this election is continue to pile on the negatives on Trump. Her own negatives are very high. She has never found that spark of inspiration that marked Barack Obama's campaigns. And her biggest asset at this point is Trump's capacity for self-destruction. So by and large, she's going to let him keep talking. But on the sidelines, she'll keep pointing out some of his missteps.
So what do you anticipate from their next debate?
Well, it's a very good question. We'll see whether he is more disciplined or not. It's hard to imagine that he will be. Not only did he show in that debate a almost fatal lack of self-control and discipline, but just a few nights later, people haven't noticed this, but at Philadelphia on Saturday night, he gave a rant that was so unhinged and so disconnected, almost to be borderline psychotic. And now I think he will be more disciplined during that debate, but I think we've learned over and over again that if he is not tethered to a teleprompter, he can go off script. And let's remember also, the Clinton team has studied very carefully from a psychological point of view the kinds of things to say that will get under his skin and break his discipline. They clearly were very successful at doing that in the first debate. And believe me, they're going to try to do it again in the second debate.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you see him practicing even for this? Because I don't even know if that's his style. It's almost like, his constituents really love to see that kind of off-the-cuff Trump.
They do. And look, you take the tax issue. I think the core pro-Trump people will agree with Giuliani. See, he's a genius. And I don't think any of these problems are going to shake the 40% of Americans who support Donald Trump fervently. But that's not enough to win the election. And that's his big problem. Politics is about addition, not subtraction. And if all you do is play to your base, almost always that's not good enough.